We can't live without it.
Water is the most important thing to human life.
But we hardly ever think about it.
Water is something everybody takes for granted, just like the air we breathe.
It's at our fingertips.
It's so readily accessible. You just have to turn on the tap.
It's invaluable, but inexpensive.
It's probably one of the best values we have.
Every drop must be flawless.
We are trying to be perfect in an imperfect world.
Every glassful, clear, clean, and safe.
Water treatment, if we get back to the basics, is protecting public health.
Protecting health. Making water clean and safe. It's an important job. This video will show you how water suppliers get that job done. Water is a big part of life. It cools and cleanses. It nourishes and quenches. It's always there when we need it.
All of us go to our tap, we turn it on.
All we have to do is turn on the tap to receive it.
We use a lot of water. Each of us uses about 50 gallons every day. But it's easy to take safe, reliable water for granted.
We don't realize sometimes the thousands of hours that have gone into producing that readily available source of water. We really take it for granted.
The water we drink today has been around a long time, actually since the beginning of time. Our water is recycled over and over again. This never-ending process is called the hydrologic cycle.
All of our water comes from the same cycle. It comes from the ocean, it becomes clouds, comes over the land and falls as rain or snow.
That rain and snow eventually becomes our drinking water. First, it replenishes our two water sources, groundwater and surface water. Some of the moisture seeps into the soil until it reaches an underground storage area called an aquifer. This is a groundwater source. Some of the rain and snowmelt runs off the land into rivers, reservoirs, and lakes. These are surface water sources. As the water travels through the environment, it changes dramatically. By the time it reaches a water source, there's a lot more to it than hydrogen and oxygen molecules.
As water comes to us, what a lot of people don't realize is it washes out the atmosphere. So it's picking up contamination as it comes down as snow or water.
All water sources contain naturally occurring contaminants. So utilities treat the water and try to meet three goals.
First of all, we want to make the water taste and look good. The second reason for treating water is to make it safe to drink. The third reason why we treat water is to meet regulatory requirements.
The first thing utilities work on is the way the water looks and tastes.
The aesthetics of water is very important.
It doesn't smell funny, it doesn't taste funny.
Taste, odor, and color.
Consumers judge water by its appearance. If it looks, smells, or tastes bad, people believe it is bad.
Even though the water can be completely safe, if it isn't aesthetically pleasing, it won't be used. People will go to a different source. They'll put in their own wells. They'll buy bottled water. They'll do something different.
So utilities improve the water's aesthetics. The second reason to treat water is to make it safe to drink.
We want to produce a water that is free of chemical contaminants and microbiological contaminants, organisms that can hurt you.
The third reason water suppliers treat water is to meet regulations.
Drinking water from your surface or your groundwater is highly regulated.
Those regulations set the minimum standards for safe water. Most utilities set their own higher standards and produce much better water than the regulations require.
If I'm running a treatment facility, my feeling is that you should really put that regulation aside and say, I'm in this business to treat water, and I need to do that to the best of my ability.
So utilities treat water to meet regulations, to improve aesthetics, and to make it safe.
The bottom line in treating water, all those three reasons, really boil down to protecting public health.
That's what the drinking water profession is all about. Making water clean, clear, and safe.
That's what utilities were created for, to protect the public health of that community by serving a safe, reliable product that the community can depend upon.
There's no magic wand in water treatment. No procedure or technique can eliminate all contaminants all of the time. So to make the water safe, utilities use what's called a multiple barriers approach to treatment.
In water treatment, there's three basic multiple barriers that we talk about. The first one is source protection. The second one is treatment. And the third one is the distribution system.
It starts at the source. The first barrier is source water protection.
Probably the best water treatment we have is to improve the quality of our source.
The better the source water, the better the drinking water. But protecting the source from contamination is often a balancing act. Utilities must balance what a community wants and what it needs. For example, people want to use the source water
For boating, fishing, swimming.
But they must be able to drink that water too.
And we as the drinking water field have to make sure that yes, you can still swim on your reservoir or boat on it, but after our treatment, what you're drinking is safe.
It's made safe by the next barrier.
Second barrier is the treatment plant itself. Of course, this is the workhorse. This is where you have to take whatever comes to you and produce finished quality water.
All treatment plants are different, but they're all designed to do one thing: make the water safe. Most utilities do that in two ways, with filtration and disinfection. First, filtration removes particles.
Some of them are harmful. If it was a bacteria particle or a virus particle, that would be harmful. Others are removed simply because aesthetically they're undesirable.
Then the water is disinfected.
Most water supplies have low levels of microorganisms. What we're trying to do with disinfection is to kill or inactivate these microorganisms so that they do not pose a health threat to our consumers.
Next, the water moves into the third barrier, the distribution system.
The operation and maintenance of a distribution system is becoming more and more critical.
These pipes keep treated water in and contamination out, but they're often neglected.
It's kind of a normal everyday thing. Everything in here is at least 70 to 100 years old.
Like a lot of our infrastructure, distribution systems need repair.
But when people say to me our infrastructure is crumbling, they point to potholes and bridges with visible signs.
But there may be even bigger problems buried underground.
Under those bridges and roadways are thousands of miles of piping that may be as old as 100 or 200 years.
A lot can happen in the distribution system. Corrosion and microorganisms can cause problems. Bad pipes and tanks can mean bad water.
We've got to pay more and more attention to what's happening out in the distribution system so that the water quality that we produce at the plant is maintained through that distribution network and that it comes out of the tap at the same quality that it leaves the treatment plant.
The multiple barriers approach to water treatment works. It stops contamination and protects public health.
What multiple barriers does for you is give you increasing levels of insurance. The first barrier can remove, let's say, 90%. After the second barrier, you're up to 95, eventually up to close to 100% insurance that this contaminant is removed or taken care of. That really is what multiple barriers is all about.
To ensure water quality, water providers do a lot of testing, analyzing, and monitoring.
Monitoring is absolutely important. Without monitoring, you don't know how well you performed your job.
Utilities monitor source water, treated water, and tap water. This testing is the water supplier's report card.
The monitoring tells you, have I done my job? What is the level of contaminant? Have I removed it? Have I made the water safe? And it's the monitoring that allows us to answer that final question, whether or not we've actually produced the product we said we're going to produce.
Monitoring protects consumers today, while research guarantees safe water for tomorrow.
The water utility industry is spending millions of dollars every year on research.
Researchers experiment, examine, and explore. They continually search for better ways to protect public health.
We're always looking ahead. In fact, as a university researcher, I'm not worried about today's problems. I'm worried about problems 10 years from now.
Drinking water is one of life's best buys.
The cost of water is very, very
It's
expensive.
an unbelievable bargain.
Water is still the best buy in town.
You can't buy much with a dime, but 10 cents will pay for all the water you use today. The bottom line is, water is a wonderful bargain.
If I were to look at, as a homeowner, what I pay for different items every month, water is an incidental cost to me. Yet I rely on it every day and I use thousands of gallons of it. I think it's a fantastic value.
Water department, may I help you?
Providing water is a round-the-clock job.
It's 24 hours, you can call anytime.
Somewhere, someone always needs water.
24 hours a day, 365 or 66 days a year.
There's no room for error in this business. There can't be any bad batches coming out of the treatment plant.
Most of us are forgiving our mistakes. When a water treatment plant operator is wrong, it can mean disease to a lot of people. They have to be right almost 100% of the time.
It takes more than pumps and pipes to provide high-quality water. It takes people. Water suppliers are talented, trained professionals who care about what they're doing.
It's a human being that makes the decision to turn the valves, turn on and off pumps, chlorination, whatever. It's the first line of defense, in my opinion.
You can have the best water treatment processes, you can have the best distribution system, but it all comes down to the people who run the utilities.
Water suppliers protect the public.
These are the unsung heroes of modern public health.
They provide exceptional service.
People that work in water utilities are professionals that really care about public health. They really care about public service.
And they produce high-quality water.
People have to say, I'm in this business to produce the highest quality water for people. That's the business I'm in, and I'm committed to that excellence.
Gathering, treating, and delivering water is a complex process. Every drop must be clean and safe. Every glass, your next glass, must be perfect. Water professionals are dedicated to protecting public health. They're dedicated to safe drinking water.
How much of the earth is water?
Is all of our water safe to
Why
drink?
don't we run out of
How's
water?
our water treated?
Why is it stored in those big
How much
tanks?
water do I use every day?
How long can I live without
Why
water?
do I need to drink so much
What
water?
can we do to take care of our
Conserve
water?
water. How can I conserve
What
water?
can I do to take care of our water?
How much do you know about your drinking water? Where does it come from? How much do you use? And what can you do to help protect it? Well, in the next few minutes, we'll answer those questions and more. Let's start by talking about our planet Earth and one of its greatest resources, water. Water is the most common substance on Earth. Think about it. There are oceans and deep blue seas, huge lakes like this one, and thousands of rivers and reservoirs. So, here's your first question. How much of the Earth is covered by water? Is it 25%, 50%, or is 70% of the Earth covered by water?
I'd say it's 25%.
Nah, it's more than that. I think it's 50%.
I think most of the Earth is covered by water. I think it's 70%.
70 to 80% of Earth is covered by water. That's why Earth is called the water planet. So there's plenty of this great resource. But how much of that water is suitable for drinking water? Is it 1%, 50%, or 97%?
I'm going to say 50% again.
Is it just 1%?
That's right. Only a small percentage of the Earth's water is available for drinking water. That's because 97% is salt water in oceans and seas. The remaining 3% is fresh water, but 2% is frozen in polar ice caps and glaciers. That leaves just 1% of the Earth's water for drinking water.